Hello everyone, I'm Dante from Low Manor and welcome to another This Week in Anthem. Here I run through all the news, updates, interviews and community spotlights that you should be checking out each week. Rather than starting off with the usual AMA details from Twitter, today we're starting off with an article written by Casey Hudson over on the BioWare website. This blog post is pretty personal to Casey and his experience joining BioWare 20 years ago. He started with them working as an artist on what is actually one of my favourite isometric RPGs, Baldur's Gate. This game set the standard for other games in the genre to follow, making D&D accessible to both players who have never tried it before or veterans who want to experience the adventure outside of their group. Its mix of new technology, art and mechanics brought Dungeons & Dragons to life in a way not seen before. Playing this as a game that just hit alpha, Casey is trying to express the feeling he felt of seeing and playing the game for the first time, and knowing that he was a part of it even if his impact felt relatively minor. The feeling he had all that time ago is exactly what he feels now with Anthem, the feeling of something special, as Anthem has now hit the very same milestone of hitting alpha, able to be played from start to finish, its story in place, the javelins all playable in full, and the Elder game to a level that functions. BioWare is hitting that final stretch. The hard work is coming together, and although the game is by no means ready to ship, the feeling of accomplishment is kicking in. Not only is this a moment of pride for Casey and the team, but it's also important for us as the fans of BioWare, and those who, like myself, have hope in the premise of Anthem. Why is this important to us? Well, most notably, it's a sign that the game is hitting its internal schedule, as Casey confirms. The game is into its final stages, and bug fixing can begin. It's also a sign that all the classes have finally had their abilities settled and fleshed out. There will be balancing and other issues to work on, but the skeletons will be there, which means we might start seeing more details fleshing them out sometime soon. The same can be said for the mysterious Elder game. Yes, we have some small details and ideas about where it's heading or how it might play out, just nothing set in stone. I can see that being the type of thing that won't be confirmed until after the alpha phase due to the amount of number crunching, balancing and testing needed to really dial it in. Fingers crossed this also leads to news on playable betas, even though I'm not too confident we're actually going to get one. At least not an open one. Now onto the AMA itself, and this week we're starting off with some details on weapons. Previously we've had it confirmed that the Colossus can use all weapons apart from pistols. Now we've got the opposite side confirmed. All other javelins can use all weapons apart from the specific heavy Colossus weapons. Not that we've had all the weapons confirmed just yet, but it's a nice distinction to have. On the cosmetic front, we had some comments on just how detailed our customization can be. We may be able to paint it almost any colour we want as many times as we want, but this doesn't extend to the internals. Not something I honestly would have thought of as you can't really see it, but I guess we might be able to see our suits on display out in the open, like we saw in the very first trailer and in the cinematic with Halleck. Apparently this was a consideration at some point, but ultimately overlooked. I do wonder if this might be a nice little change that's added after launch. Mark certainly seems to be up for it, assuming they can find the time to add it. While on the topic of customization, we had a question related to how our javelins enter missions, or more specifically, if there will be custom landing animations. So the generic loading animations that we see in missions, such as entering the cave of the stronghold, these can't be changed. They're set loading animations. However, we do get the option to modify our joining animations. So when the storm falls from the sky as a bolt of lightning, well, that can be changed. This is a system that Destiny really embraces. One of the few cosmetic systems they have, if not the only one. I suspect each javelin has a custom one at base, with others available to buy, are rewards or possibly as loot drops. The cosmetics and loot system as a whole are very mysterious features at this point, though this is the kind of direction I expect them to go. The next confirmation we've got is continuing on this thought. How soon can we start to customize our javelins? So this is an answer I'm sure many of you will be glad to hear, even if the moment may be somewhat fleeting. As soon as you unlock each javelin, with the exception of the ranger, because you need to start the game somewhere, you'll be able to start modifying it, with colours and any modifications you've unlocked at that point. I'm sure this isn't really going to affect you on your first playthrough too much. However, if they do start adding new javelins after launch, this will be a very nice feature to have, much like the system you see within Warframe. Moving away from the cosmetic side of the game and to some information on the infrastructure. It's been confirmed multiple times that there will be no crossplay, even if it is a feature BioWare would really like in the game. At this time, there are no plans for it. So what does this mean for your Bioware account and the game? As you have a centralized account with EA, can you transfer your details from one platform to another? In short, no. So regardless of which platform you plan to play on, you'll be stuck into that platform. Put a pretty definitive nail in the crossplay dream some of us may have, but that's how it is. At least for now. Whether this is entirely an account restriction or a license restriction, I'm not too sure at this point. Though I do wonder how this will affect the next generation of consoles. Will they be able to transfer their accounts onto new machines, or will there be issues? I would assume no, as it's within the same family, but I do hope this eventually pushes us towards crossplay. We all know it's possible, it's just whether the companies can get along well enough for it to work. The last two questions I want to cover today are both related to the demo. First off, as the previous episode of This Week in Anthem went out, BioWare released a new graphic to help misconceptions and questions people had asking about the demo, save states, and early access and release schedules. So if you are still undecided on which version you want to buy and what access comes with each, this graphic should be able to help you. Generally, I think anytime you need to create a chart to explain your additions, you've made a mistake. Though in this instance I don't think it's too bad. They certainly don't have issues with overselling half a dozen different versions with different cosmetics, rewards and access. Ubisoft has generally been and continues to be the master of confusing pre-order editions that make no sense. The second part of this is a bit of a PSA. Anything you do in the demo is specific to the demo, because well, it's a demo. That's kind of what it's supposed to be, but in this day and age an actual demo like this is not nearly as common as they once were, showing the age and to some degree the pedigree of BioWare as a company. Demos used to be discs you got attached to magazines that might have had one mission or a limited time segment of a game, long before beta testing became the way to not only fix bugs but to market the game, making the need for a demo non-existent. But before I start to ramble on about being old, that's it for today's episode. As always, let me know what you think of any of the topics covered today, or have someone to suggest as a community spotlight. Be sure to let me know in the comment section below. For now, here is some of the cosplay from the Edmonton Expo last week. Truly amazing works of art. If you enjoyed this episode, then please leave a like, or a dislike if you prefer. You can subscribe to support the channel and hit the little bell to be notified of new content as it goes live. But until next time, I've been Dante, thanks for watching.